What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. It has finished here. Brentford 0, Tottenham 0, and that was an absolute shit show, to be honest. Like, literally, what have I just watched for the last 90 minutes? That is 90 minutes of my life that I am literally never going to get back. That was one of the most boring, lethargic, anything. There was just nothing to go on in that game whatsoever. Like, what have I watched?
Yep.
What have I watched? And yeah, you know, people say, yeah, it's just the same thing that we're seeing over and over again. But we can all talk about Frank's setup, and I think that's a valid criticism and valid point to talk about today, because, you know, we showed little, next to no intent to go at Brentford today. But the technical level of this squad, man, you're looking at players that can't make 5-yard passes.
Yep.
Seriously, Pedro Porro gets it in such a promising position. Every time it looked like we got in a positive position today, we gave the ball straight back to Brentford. Every time we did something positive, like win the ball back in our defensive third, win the ball back in the middle of the park, it was followed by a poor pass.
Yep.
So as much as we want to criticise Frank's formation and Frank's setup and tactics and everything, and I think, yeah, that's valid to do because we've not been good enough all season. Today, I think that should get criticism, but as well, on top of that, the players should get massive criticism today, because how can you not place a 5-yard pass consistently throughout the 90 minutes of football? It was just so frustrating, man. And, you know, second half, I was saying, you know, make some changes, bring off a midfield. I thought Frank's changes took too long, could have made a lot more changes a lot earlier. And I thought the game wasn't managed particularly well. But what can we say? That I can't even remember. Like, they had a Richarlison chance at the back post.
Yep.
Apart from that, what did we have?
I think you've just wrapped down. Like you said, subs should have been made earlier, without a doubt. Game management today was poor. There's absolutely nothing that we offered. Kudus had very, very few patches. And I'm only going to Kudus because when you look at that starting lineup, or even the subs bench, he is the only creator. The only one you'd expect to be able to create anything from deeper would be Pedro Porro or Romero. Romero didn't do as much, but Pedro Porro is someone you would look to. And if there's one thing that you would like to be assured that Porro is fantastic at, is his distribution, his passing, his crossing. And all his defensively was superb today. Was very strong, a very good performance defensively. But offensively, he just epitomises the passing that we had. It was a very, very poor performance. Frank needs to take a lot of accountability for the way we were set up. Absolutely. Like you said, maybe he should have got a bit more aggressive. We were saying the midfield at the beginning, with the only 3 he had. Well, maybe at times like that, he's got to be a bit more ruthless and say, well, do you know what? I'm not going to revert to that. I'm going to try and go.
You know what, Brian? We say those are the only 3 midfielders he had. He could have played Kudus in the 10 and then
He could
started
have.
with
No,
Tel.
there is that, but there is that, but Kudus at the moment just hasn't been himself, has he? There is no denying it. There is an option. There is an option, but then we were saying maybe Mawani and then Odegaard goes right wing. So even Odegaard started off well and then just faded out.
Yeah.
And Kudus started badly, and then in the second half kind of came into the game, and then the team, it's just that was not a good enough performance. That is, and I saw in the comments as well, the one thing I hope Frank doesn't come out and say is come out and say, yeah, it was a good performance.
I was just thinking that before,
mate,
yeah.
Someone said it in the comments, and that's one thing that I really am angry with Frank, what he says after the games. What he's saying
what
after
he says
the games.
after the games, and also what he says in press conferences when he talks about fans. Like
he's got to stay away from that. He has to stay away from that.
It's so disrespectful to a lot of fans the way he speaks sometimes.
And probably he's fueling a lot of the Frank out. He's probably fueling a lot of the Frank out. He should not be going at the fans. I completely agree with that.
In terms of an offensive unit today, there was just no one that actually stood up to the challenge. Like Gray, I thought from an offensive capability that did absolutely nothing. Like his poor passing was on show today.
Yep.
You're looking at Kudus. He offered, apart from a couple of minutes at the start of the second half, he offered absolutely nothing today. Odegaard, apart from a couple of minutes at the beginning of the first half, he offered pretty much next to nothing today. Richarlison, we were trying to go long to Richarlison every time, and he had 2 big fuck off centre backs on him, and he was never going to do anything or make it stick. You know.
When he did make it stick, though, he couldn't pass it. Again, the passing
But if anyone was going to score, it was probably going to come from him. You know, he was the one that had the chance at the back post and getting himself in good positions. But that Richarlison cross right at the end, man, that frustrated the life out of him. You got 30 seconds left.
Yep.
You got Tell running in at the back post, and all he does, he just basically passes it back to Kelleher.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are we watching here? Like, seriously, I don't know what I'm watching here anymore. Like, this ain't football.
That certainly wasn't football. That most certainly wasn't football. And we keep saying right now about the windows open, who do we bring in? We need a... I have kept changing my position that I think is most vital, and I've been sticking with we need a left-footed left-back for the balance. I still believe that, but I really do think right now, after seeing this game, it's a ball-playing midfielder. Someone that can get the midfield, dictate the flow of the game, and pass it about. I mean, if we don't have that, it's all well and good having the balance, but when we get up there, we're doing nothing with it. So I think right now, the number one, and it's changed. I mean, be interested people to see in the chat who is like the positional, which position they think is most important. And right now, it's got to be a Gallagher and Neves, a player of that ilk.
That's why I keep saying Ruben Neves is absolutely perfect for us. 100% you're right. That is got to be our main priority, a ball-playing midfielder, someone that can dictate the tempo of the game, someone that can pass it 5 yards. We're not asking for much. All we're asking is for a 5-yard pass successful. It's ridiculous, man. Like, seriously, I thought Romero looked rusty today. He put in I thought he grew into the game towards the end of it. He was very lucky not to be sent off. What did you make out of the penalty shout, Archie Gray?
Do you know what? We're going to have to see that again, because as we said, the angles they were showing us, the chat were saying clearly were heavily on it's a penalty side. From the first angle you saw, it looked like the Brentford player touched the ball, but from that one where they just showed loads of legs, where it's from behind them looking at the goal, I couldn't tell who did get the last touch. So it's hard for me to say without going back and watching it properly. I really don't want to go back and watch it properly because it means I have to watch something of that game. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm still not sure. I think that it might have been harsh I don't know if he got the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got the ball. Like you, I need to see it again. We only saw it flash up here a couple of times, but it didn't look like he got the ball. But it would have been harsh to go back to VAR because I don't think there was much in it, to be honest. So, look, I'll have to see it again and I'll reaffirm my stance on it tomorrow in the match review. But it's so hard to keep watching games like this week after week. I think this was from an attacking standpoint, this was one of the worst of the lot I think I've seen under Thomas Frank.
Oh, definitely. Mate, there's no question. That was by far the worst.
Mickey van der Ven, he was saving us a lot in that first half with his unbelievable defensive work rate.
He's just everywhere.
You're going to say he's probably our best player today, Mickey van der Ven?
It's not even a question.
Yeah.
I mean, when we do the player ratings tomorrow, that's going to be an exciting one, isn't it?
I think the match review is probably going to be about 2 minutes long, seriously.
I think the player ratings, when we say they did this or didn't do this, it'll be...
What did they do? What did any player do today?
Exactly.
Like, at least Spence was trying to get the ball up the field and trying to attack. That's what I'm saying about players. They can't do things on their own. Like, every time Kudus gets the ball, he's got 2-3 men on him.
Yep.
And
even when he hasn't... Sorry, mate, I keep cutting you off.
No, it's fine.
He's trying to take 3 players on. Yes, he's getting marked in that way, but he's not passing when he could do. He's just running into things. And over the last few weeks, he's just lost that desire to run at his man, hasn't he? And take him on. He's got incredible skill to get round people, and he's just not doing it.
Mm-hmm. Look, big work ahead. We know the January transfer window's open. We know Brennan Johnson's already gone. And by the way, Brennan Johnson would have come on in this game, and we needed him. We needed someone like Brennan Johnson to come on in this game. And this is what I was saying last week or a few days ago when the rumours first came out about Brennan. I was saying, you can't sell him unless you've got a replacement because we rely on him. I know he hasn't played that many games of football, but he came on in the Palace game only a few days ago, looked good out on that right-hand side, causing a threat. So why sell him unless you have another option to come in straight away and actually take part in the game? Because we're lacking in options now. We have 2 attacking players on the bench today.
Yeah, but you look at it as well, Ben. Even if he had come on, we wouldn't have got the ball to the back post. We couldn't even deliver. We couldn't deliver anything. So it's all well and good having him on for someone to be at the back post. We can put a cross into save. We could have been playing for 180 minutes. And we wouldn't have found a cross.
Yeah.
The passing was... Look, there's takeaways from this game, and obviously Frank will come under criticism again, and I believe for this game he does deserve criticism. and a lot of it. But what I will say is that passing today, you would not think that was a professional football team.
Yeah.
Being serious, you just wouldn't. They are internationals. Whether anything's going on, they know how to pass a football. And some of the passing was just schoolboy.
Yeah, it really was. The passing schoolboy, the tactics of schoolboy.
Yep,
the fans are shouting boring Tottenham from the away section. It's not good. It's just a bad day all round and a great start to the new year, isn't it?
Yep.
It's just...
The only thing I can say with the new year is back-to-back clean sheets, and that's it. That's me clutching at straws. Back-to-back clean sheets. That's still not good. It's still not good enough. We should have put in a performance today, but the team just weren't at it. And like I said, Frank's got his tactics wrong today.
Yeah.
Got the subs wrong today, or the timing of them. And now, just please, January, do something. Bring in some quality, and then we'll see. But now it puts even more pressure on us trying to get that win against Sunderland, doesn't it?
Yeah, and look, Sunderland drew 0-0 with Man City just now. They know how to set up defensively, so I envisage a very similar game to what we saw today against Sunderland, who are going to come to Tottenham. They're going to sit in, they're going to frustrate. So it's going to be, the onus is going to be on us to go and break them down. And at this moment in time, I don't really have faith in the team being able to do that, especially against a strong defence like Sunderland.
Correct. There needs to be a drastic change in the approach to the game. Let's just say, well, basically, he's going to have to play the same sort of team, isn't he? Because obviously, creative-wise, Xavi's on the final game of his ban. Hopefully, because we're at home, he may not go Paulinho, Bentancur, Gray. Bergvall could be back, but hopefully, after a performance like that, he'll sacrifice one of them, and he'll give Tell or Mawani and have that extra attacking option there.
Yeah, and it's just like... watch Tottenham games, at the end of it, we love thinking, oh, but this happened, how good was that, how good was this? I'm sitting here at the end of this game and I'm like, literally nothing happened in that.
That's right. What
actually happened in that game? Nothing.
Let's have a look. Before today...
What are you cooking up here, Daigle?
No, but see, when was our
last shot on target?
No, when was our last 0-0?
They said it. Brentford away 2022.
No, that might have been Brentford's last 0-0. Because it said Brentford's last. Apart from today, when was Spurs' last 0-0?
Got to be a while ago, man.
In the Premier League.
When was our last 0-0? Anyone know in the chat? It's got to be a long time ago. Well, look, either way. Well, Monaco, yeah, we drew Monaco. That was
I meant in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Tottenham are currently on 111. Okay. Draw. Let's have a look. Accept, yes. It's been over 3 years.
So we need to know, over 3 years.
Yeah, it would have been Conte. Well, actually, did we get a 0-0 with Nuno at all? May have been Nuno.
Don't know. But look, April 2022 is what people say. That would have been Conte, I believe.
Well, if it is, then that is in line with what maybe it was Brentford. Brentford.
But look, after that game, a lot more questions rather than answers in terms of Spurs being able just to attack, to put any coherent passes together. Question marks on the players, question marks on the manager, just questions everywhere, to be honest. And we need to see it change, and we need to see it change quick, because we've got a nice run of fixtures now where we can put some points on the board. Obviously, we weren't successful in doing that today, but you look at the next few games: Sunderland at home, Bournemouth away, who are on a bad run, West Ham at home, who are on a bad run, Burnley, I think we got after that as well, who are on a bad run. Yeah. So we have to start putting points on the board, because after this month is over and said and done, this is our opportunity. Because after this month, if we carry on dropping points, we got Arsenal, we got Man City, we got Man United, we got Newcastle, all in a row.
Yep.
So if we don't put points on the board now, this season could actually get very worrying.
I wouldn't say it get worrying as in relegation. It could collapse, and it could be all over, even trying to get into any kind of European competition. Spurs need to be at the races for the rest of the month for sure. Especially as well, you enter into that a tricky tie against Aston Villa next Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's a big month for Tottenham Hotspur. All concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to start a poll, people, for Tottenham's player ratings. I'm going to end it tomorrow, 10 p.m. All right, the poll's created. So I'm going to put the link in the live chat now. And I'll keep putting it in throughout the course of the stream, because the link to come on is currently pinned, so I can't pin it. But that's the link right there. If you want to click that link and fill in your player ratings, then an average of all your scores will be brought up on the player rating show tomorrow. So let me just put that in one more time for you guys. So just go in and put your player ratings, and we'll be reacting to them tomorrow.